Pug with tips to make you snug as a pug in a rug. Yeah, snug as a pug in a rug. Stay tuned.
Guys bake bread using alcohol stoves. Probably want to talk gardening or off-grid electricity. Probably get into a little bit of that if you guys want. So,
Okay, great.
thanks for coming again.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. I didn't think there'd be that much interest in alcohol stoves. It's kind of a niche thing in prepping, you know. You look on the internet, it's usually backpackers, you know, that will get an alcohol stove because they're small, light. You put them in your backpack. Alcohol's easy to carry, but you know they don't have the versatility of a camping stove. Well, I've taken that little backpack thing and gone to a ridiculous extreme. Okay, and I've really kind of wanted to explore the whole capability of it. I'll pass out these little notes here on some of the things I want to talk about. But you know, I originally got interested in in having something to cook when the light's gone out. During that big windstorm a few years ago, I don't know if you remember, it was a hurricane that came up from Texas and hit us. And
2011.
And yeah, we were out of power for 2 weeks, and I had no way of cooking. We had a refrigerator full of food, freezer full of food. You know, we went out to eat a few times, and then, we got to cook this food. I had eggs, so I'm trying to cook scrambled eggs on a gas grill on a flat pan. It's like, oh my God. Then the ultimate was, all of the meat was going bad in the freezer. I had to do something. I piled it all onto the grill and lit it. Wouldn't you know, the grill decided that was the time that the burner was going to split. Okay, I had a 5-foot tall flame. It looked like a temple sacrifice. Oh my God! I couldn't even get close to put the lid down. I let the dang thing burn out. I had this pile of, it was like 10 pounds of meat, you know? And it's like, I gotta figure something out. So, you know, I started researching things like that, and you know, you got the camp stoves, you got the butane stoves, propane stoves, and I saw this guy named Hiram Cook did some videos on these alcohol stoves that you can make yourself. I said, hell, I mean, you just need a aluminum can or a stainless steel bottle, cut it and make an alcohol stove. You know, I went to the Valley Thrift, got a 50-cent bottle, cut it, drilled some holes, got a little pint of alcohol. Hey, got a pot, you know, started cooking some hot dogs out in the backyard. Hey, this is easy. Well, then I started, well, you know, what if I needed to cook soup or beans or rice or this and that? And so I started researching it, and there's all kinds of different types, but mostly all of them are for, you know, for bugging out. And I don't plan to bug out. I'm not an outdoorsman. I won't last long. My wife and I will not last long. I'm thinking, hey, I'm storing food, you know, I can get water. You know, I can get water off my my roof. You know, if I can get some security and a way to cook and heat, I'll be okay. So that's how I got all started with this. But what I'm going to do today is kind of show you the different types of alcohol stoves, what you can do with them and cook some food, kind of give you some tips and warnings. Let's get the warnings out real quick. You know, alcohol is flammable. It spreads easy. If you want a real good insight into what flaming alcohol will do, get on YouTube and look for flaming shots gone bad. I mean, these people that are drunk and I mean, lighting the whole places on fire. I mean, people do it over and over and over again. And yeah, you don't want to mess with it. You want to have a stove that's stable, something that is you're not going to knock over, and you got to watch it. But if you do, it'll be fine. So the other thing is, well, I'll get to the other types of alcohol, but yeah, denatured alcohol is the main material that people use for backpacking stoves. Now there's all kinds of different types, and they're usually sold as paint thinners in the hardware store. You'll see them at Lowe's, and there's different types. But denatured alcohol is basically ethanol, drinking alcohol with additives in, so that you're not going to drink it. You get sick, and that would be methanol, which is poisonous. They put acetone and methyl ethyl ketone and methyl isobutyl ketone. I'm a retired chemical engineer, so I understand these chemicals, and yeah, these are things that you don't want to mess with. I've been exposed to all of them, but the thing is when you're burning any kind of a fossil fuel, you're going to generate carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and you're going to use up air. So any indoor cooking, you need to have some ventilation. And we'll probably crack that door there before we start this. But I've tested some alcohol stoves with a carbon monoxide monitor, and basically after 2 hours it never went above 8, and usually they go off at 30. So, but if you're in a small room, it's winter, and you turn the heat off, and you want to just heat this one room, make sure you get some more air exchange. Because long term, it's going to consume the oxygen. But if you look at the heating values, the costs, and the BTUs, propane, isobutane is the camping stoves. You've seen them. They're small round cans with a screw-on stand. They're really good. They're good in cold weather. They're controllable because you've got a valve on it. But they're expensive. I mean, they're meant for backpackers who've got this disposable income. So it's 91 cents per 1,000 BTUs. Butane. I love butane. I've got 2 butane stoves. I told Matt about a good deal on butane, and if you buy it in bulk, it's kind of cheap. And there's one place up in Northeast Ohio that's really cheap, but they're beautiful. It's like cooking on a gas stove at home. You can regulate the power. The other thing about these mechanical stoves is they're mechanical. Okay, if lights go out and you have no access to something, and you're relying on this mechanical machine that could break down, you need something. Alcohol is more of a backup you need, because the butane is so much easier. But the thing about alcohol is you can't break them. I mean, I've got a complete alcohol kit in this little container, and got a windscreen. I got a pot in here. I've got cups. Little small thing of ethanol. And then this is 2 stoves and a stand right in here. Pull that out. Got a little stove, a little stand. I actually bought this stand here, but I'm not using the alcohol stove that went with it. I found one that I like even better. I've got 2 alcohol stoves in here. This is my go-to ever new jet. It's titanium. I use this mostly. And this is a little wick stove. It's got a little carbon wick in there, and it will burn. I'll show you. So, I mean, you've got a complete kit and something you can grab. So, if you got to get out and you're going to be on the road a little bit, a jug of water, a few Mountain House meals, and you're good for a couple of days. So you can, you can do it small. And the thing is, there's no moving part in here. You know, you have to stomp on this to break it. So, you know, this is the first type of stove. I call it a jet stove because basically it's got a reservoir and it's got small holes on here. And this has got two sets of holes. So it puts out a lot more heat. The more holes, the more heat. But most jet stoves don't have a lot of capacity. You can only put 70 mils in here. So this will only burn about 12 minutes. But it puts out some heat. Now there's some bigger jet stoves. This is the Pathfinder. Matt sells this. Now this thing has only got one set of holes, but look at the capacity. That's 170 mils. I ran this 2 hours and still going strong. The other thing about this is it's got a lid with a gasket. So if you don't use it all up, you can extinguish it and close it up and retain the alcohol. Now these are popular with backpackers, side jet stove. They've got little jets around here. The reason I don't use this a lot is because the jets come out the side, you need a big pot. For efficiency, you want all the flames hitting the bottom of the pot and not licking the sides, not coming up the sides. So with this type of stove, you really need a wider pot. But if you're cooking 6 to 8 cups of water, you'll need a wide pot, and that would work. So those jet stoves, basically, I'll go over the, let's see. Yeah, the alcohol vapor burns at small holes at the top and sides of the stove, and the heat output depends on the size and number of the holes. It's fast heating. The remaining alcohol can be emptied back into the storage container. So if you put these out, you know, you can pour the alcohol back. The disadvantage is it's hard to keep boiling water down to a simmer. Now, this thing puts out so much heat, and you can't regulate. There's no valve here. So, you know, you're cooking pasta. You want to bring it to a boil, then you want to simmer for 20 minutes. Well, you know, pasta, you know, if you keep boiling it, it's going to boil over. The same thing with rice, beans, and stuff like that. So this is really tough to cook, you know, those type of things. You really got to watch it and have a tall pot so you've got some room to not boil over, or you've got to be taking it on and off. So I really don't like to do that with these type of stoves because it takes too much effort. So the second set of type of stoves that use is wick stoves. And the wick I use, and there's different types of wicks, but what I found this wick, it's a welding blanket. You know, welders use blankets to shield themselves from sparks from the welder, and what their function is to not burn. You know, they want to if a spark hits there, you want it to extinguish. So you can buy these welding blankets, usually in big sheets, but I found one that you can buy, and it's like 18 by 18, just this big. And you can make 3 or 4 alcohol stoves out of it. And this is what it looks like. It's just a black fabric. And I'll pass this around. There's alcohol in there, so don't spill it. But all you got to do is cut it to size, roll it up, and put it in there. And what happens is when you put alcohol in there, the wick absorbs it. And what really is burning an alcohol stove is the vapor. It's not the